Hello guys, welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video, I'm gonna show you the best pistol round strategies on Nuke as a CT in CS2. I hope you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and let's get straight into it. So let's start with the most common strat CTs use for a pistol round. In Nuke pistol rounds, Ts usually tend to go towards A side because it's the easiest to take, and since you stack up together, it's very easy to push into side and take control. That's why the first strat focuses on defending A side. This strat does not require any certain utility, that's why you can just buy armors and one of you can buy a smoke and a defuse kit. So the split goes like this. One of the people goes towards main, he just simply runs no matter what spawn he gets, he runs towards main, locks in his position, he can rather hold the angle like this, or he can go more towards the corner so Ts have a harder time clearing him. He can also hold the door, however it's a bit risky since Ts can open the door and stack themselves up and peek him out wider. The second player needs to run towards A side. He needs to run, jump up this side, and then he needs to drop down rather here and play in this corner, or instead he can jump up these barrels and jump on top of hut. This is one or the other. If he's gonna hold hut, then he stands in this corner and protects it and Ts have a hard time clearing him. Or if he stands in hut, he can support the main player by holding the top of door, and if someone is pushing hut, he can also move back towards here. The third player usually goes towards A side as well. He rather goes through main or A side. It's more recommended to go towards heaven and then drop down towards side, and he can hold this angle, and he can also be a bait for single door. He can also run more to the left and drop down like so, and then position himself in this corner. However, keep in mind, even on pistol rounds you can get mollied in this position, so you do need to prepare to peek fast and have the contact, or you can ask your teammate to buy a flash and support you when you peek out vent. The fourth player can do one or the other. He can rather go towards heaven by walking up this ladder as well, and then he can just stand in this position and hold the side itself and protect everything. If he sees that people are pushing single door, then he can assist his teammates by holding it, and if it's hut, he can move more to the right and help his teammates as well. Or instead, he can go more towards outside and he can play behind this blue box by just jiggle peeking and checking for info. If he sees no one and if it's a execute, then he can just quickly run towards here and assist his teammates. This position has some benefits compared to the heaven position because then you can protect your teammate from main so no one pushes outside, drops down on him and kills him. The fifth player usually needs to run towards ramp. He just runs simply towards ramp, positions himself in this corner. This is the best corner because your teammates are very far away. That's why if it is a ramp rush, then you can just shoot a few bullets out. If you don't get any kills, then you can simply fall back and run rather towards heaven and rotate towards B. Or instead, you can just slightly hold the angle and micromanage it. And if you see Ts are pushing you, you can fully back off and protect it so no one goes towards heaven. However, usually when Ts take ramp, they usually like to push B side. That's why it's better off if it's a B push for your whole team to rotate towards B through vents. Since all of your teammates are very close to vent, they can all quickly drop back and jump towards vent. That means they can quickly run towards B side together and play the retake. However, when you drop down towards vents, keep in mind that there might be some lurkers in squeaky. That's why one of you can drop down vents and then maybe the second one, while one of you just holds squeaky for a couple of seconds just to make sure that no one is lurking. You can do the same by holding main as well, since outside can also have several lurkers. If you are playing in outside, then I suggest going towards secret because you also need a bit more diversity, and if you stand in this position, you can also cover your teammates if anyone has control of vent. You can help your teammates by clearing lobby and these positions so they can safely jump out the vent. So let's move on to the second strat. The second strat focuses on evenly spreading out towards every single position so you have a clear and even defense on every single position. That means you're not afraid to lose any certain position and you are ready to play the retake in every single one of them. The round starts off like this. One of you needs to go towards main as in the previous round. You also stand in the same positions as in the previous strat. The second player usually goes towards outside and he plays towards garage. He holds silo and outside from garage at the same time. He makes sure that no one drops down from silo and attacks main, and he also watches outside so it's not an execute. The third player, aka the second player in A side, has a lot of options he can choose from. One of them being that he can just simply play towards heaven and assist his teammate while also looking towards hut from this corner. He can also drop down to side, however it's a bit more risky because then it will be way harder for you to rotate from heaven towards other positions. The best position is usually to play on top of hut because then you can hold hut while at the same time hold single door and assist your teammate in main. Or instead you can also go on top of this scaffolding position in heaven and then hold the position like so. However, this does have a slight drawback since you can't really see single door. However, Ts don't expect you to be in this position and often mislook it. That's why if you do lose sight and your main teammate dies, you still have a chance to get some free kills if Ts don't spot you. The fourth player and the fifth player both go towards ramp. They position themselves in a split up position. They can rather play this stack, one of them holds here, while the other one camps in this corner, or one of them can go towards ramp and hold ramp, while the other one camps in the same position as previously. Or it could also be switched up if one of you holds ramp, then falls back, and the second player holds the position like this. One of you can also get boosted up here, while you hold the position like so and bait for your teammate. Another good strat is if one of you stands on top of this box, or just stands here, while you just stand here and prepare to have the first contact. Once you see enemies, you fall a bit back and you make sure that Ts spot you hiding behind this box or dropping towards ramp, while the second player is prepared to have a duel against the pushing Ts. You can also do this risky play. One of you drops down towards ramp and hides in this corner, while you stand here and have the fight duel against Ts, and after you see them getting really close to you, you drop down and then make a lot of noise that indicates that you ran away towards ramp and B site, and then Ts might mislook you if you stand in this corner. Another good strategy is if one of you stands on top of here, while one of you camps in ramp's end behind this box, and if your teammate sees a lot of Ts pushing, he drops back and runs towards B site, and you just stand behind this position and prepare to kill them from behind. Same as the previous strat, this strat does not require any specific smokes or any other utility. However, if you want, you can buy a Molotov if you want a molly off ramp in the start of the round. You can use it pretty effectively, just instantly throw it like so Ts don't push you instantly. Or instead, the second A player can throw a Molotov towards Squeaky so no one pushes Squeaky. In the start of the round, if outside players want to play a bit more aggressive, they can also throw this smoke, just throw it off against that box, and then they can play close range. This is a risky play, however it does sometimes work because Ts don't expect this aggression in outside, especially in pistol rounds. That's why if you camp behind this box, you can hear a lot of info if everyone is crossing towards secret. You can also just lurk through the smokes right side and then try to catch people off guard. This has some benefits, however it's also a bit risky, so it's up to you whether you want to play aggressive or not. In my opinion, you don't really need a lot of utility for these strats. However, if you want for the second strat, you can definitely use that molly towards ramp or that molly towards single door. However, outside does not really require any specific utility unless you want to do a smoke for that aggressive play. However, in my opinion, it's just safer and better to buy kits since Nuke is gonna be very close range when it comes to retaking. That's why I suggest buying kits and armor instead. This setup is very balanced because all of you are holding all of the positions that are possible to push and you're not afraid of losing any certain position. That means you're not afraid to rotate and play the retake and know a lot of info in the entire map. Thank you everyone for watching the video. These were the best pistol round strategies on Nuke as a CT in CS2. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe and comment down in the comments below on what you want us to do next, and I'll see you in the next video.